I'm the first person to admit when I'm wrong about something, and I was completely wrong about this hero pass. And I want to talk about it and kind of set the record straight from my personal point of view and give feedback in a normal way and hopefully not in a toxic way. And that's something I really do encourage you guys to do as well. Please give feedback on the actual content, give ideas how they can change it and make it better. And please don't personally attack the JMods. This video is not about that, but I do want to clarify it. And it's very pathetic that I need to do it, but I've already seen some abuse on Twitter and on Reddit and stuff, and it's disgusting. Please don't do it. They're just doing their jobs. But I want to talk about the Hero Pass because I was wrong. Because the way that I saw it from reading the news post, watching the live stream, was a new way of doing Yak Track, where instead of doing specific tasks, you had skill and chill, and you could just pretty much do anything in the game, and it would progress your track, and you would be able to get progression, which, in my point of view, is fine. Like, let's be honest, every single game nowadays has a battle pass. I would rather not have it in there, but let's not kid ourselves, let's not gaslight ourselves. The battle pass, or the Yak Track, or whatever the hell you want to call it, was here to stay, and in whatever shape or form, but I would almost say that the last one was better compared to this one, because this is way too intrusive, and I hate it, and I do want to just go into detail with that as well. But yeah, that's what I thought it would be, and that the buffs, you know, maybe have 20, 25 charges, and you could pick whatever buff. So like an overall charge, so you have like 20 buff charges, and then you could be like, oh, I want to use one on Zami or one on Clues, but no, that's not the case. You have individual charges. You have 40 on Zamorak. For Clues, you have 100. And for Slayers, you have 60, which is just, it's way too much. And it's way too overtuned. And that makes it overpowered. Because quite frankly, having these, you know, let's say you had 20 to 25 points in general over the entire track to be able to spend on these buffs, it could generally encourage someone to do a piece of content, which I think is definitely a good thing. Because, you know, doing Zamorak with 20% less damage is pretty okay, and that will definitely encourage a noob to try out the boss, and when you die, well, you will lose your buff. So that to me would have been fine, or someone who wanted to get in Clues or Slayer or whatever. But this many charges is just ridiculous. It's way too overpowered, and it should not be a thing. I think there should be an overall charge thing where, as I said, you can spend it on whichever, and it shouldn't be more than like 25 to 30 or whatever. But being able to do 100 clues with one step less, that is a lot of money. To put that in perspective, for every 3, or well, let's call it for every 4 easy clue scrolls, you do 1 free extra easy clue scrolls. That's 25 extra easy clues that you can do. So in 2 hours, at least at my pace, I can do 150 easy clues instead of 100 that I would normally be doing. That is ridiculous, and that is really just not good. And the same with hard clues, I would be doing 75 in about 2 hours, and it's overpowered. But that is not just where it ends and where I think it just gets worse and worse. Well, you can do anything, right, in the game. Well, if you don't earn marks of war anymore, well, you won't be getting any points, because you will only get points when you earn marks of war when bossing. And oh yeah, speaking about bossing, well, the intrusive pop-ups that you get both in chat, on your screen, the sound effects, and the fireworks that you get when you complete the task, which at least the fireworks I kind of get, because, you know, it's like a sound indication of when something is completed, but you get a sound effect for every single point that you get. And, you know, same with the pop-up that you will get on screen or whatever you see in chat. You know, you might think that you get a drop. I mean, I already find the skill point pop-up annoying from Necromancy, because, well, I keep on thinking that I get collection log, but I get nothing at Ratio. But no, now you have even more, and it's just very intrusive. Like, look, I don't mind if there's a battle pass in the game, but I don't need to see it at every second that I am playing the game. It's annoying, it's intrusive, and I don't want it. Look, it's something I would interact with, and I don't mind interacting with. I don't mind the Yak Track. I kind of find it enjoyable because it gives me something extra to do. I get some cosmetics, and it's fine, right? Like, I don't really mind it, but I don't want it to be a major part of the game. It's just something that I can do extra, that's in the background, that, you know, acknowledge that it's there, you know, give people a pop-up when they first log in and be like, hey, look, there's this Yak Track thing or this Battle Pass thing, and let people interact with it how much they want it. I don't want to have sound effects. I don't want to have pop-ups on screen. I only want to see whenever I complete something. That's all. I don't need anything more. But it gets worse, and it gets worse, because, you know, remember what they said about decreasing daily scape? That's one of the reasons why they removed the daily challenges. Well, that's not the reason why they removed daily challenges. They removed it because it gave free treasure hunter keys and it gave away too much experience. Look, I can get it from their point of view, right? If you remove the treasure hunter keys, people buy more keys for more promos and they'll make more money. Look, it's just business. And let's be honest, they were very easily earned keys besides the daily keys that you just get for free by just logging in, right? Like they're even easier. But that is something I can understand from a business point of view. I don't really agree. Well, I kind of agree with it, but I kind of don't. Like, I'm really indifferent to it. Like, at the end of the day, they're a business. Way too easy to give those keys and they could remove it. But same with the experience. I also kind of get it because obviously you get like, I think it's like 90k or something per challenge. Like, I think you can get like over 200k a day by just doing those daily challenges at 99. And it's just like 5 minutes. It's a bit overpowered, but you could have just, halved it or something because it does help with, annoying skills, especially on a main, whatever. And the rewards that you would get from the weekly stuff, you now get from these bags that you get whilst progressing through the track. So I guess they are just nicely moved. There's nothing wrong with that. I think that is fine. But to decrease daily escape was one of the aims, but it takes roughly 2 hours to, complete your daily task that it gives you. And if you do all the challenges to complete them and you do it in time, you still have to play for about 2 hours a day to be able to complete this track and interact with content that, will give you progression. So, when you log in and do a quest, for example, you're not going to be getting that much progression. You actually need to do something actively that progresses something like skilling or bossing or whatever, which is fine. Like, that's a good way to progress. But let's say you do a quest, then you won't get anything, or you're just playing the game for some reason, or just walking around. You won't get anything. So your time will be increased. So it pretty much adds like an extra 2 hours of dailies every single day when you remove something that takes like 10, 15 minutes at most. So my ass with decreasing daily escape, it's just increasing daily escape. And I just be honest about it, right? Like, just be honest about it. Like, we want to remove daily challenges because the keys were too easily given, so we cannot sell the keys, and the experience was too much, which you could argue that it generally is, because getting 200k experience every single day if you extend them is a lot of experience, and I can get that. And this way you kind of, make experience worth a little bit more from that point of view. But don't worry, it gets worse. You can buy direct skips / currency, the one that you can buy the cosmetics with actual money on mobile. They said it was just bonds, and I mean, bonds you can also buy with money. I see it, and, I don't mind them doing it with bonds because, quite frankly, you can buy them with in-game cash. So if you don't want to splash the cash in real life, you have the decision to do it with in-game currency, and I think that's completely fine, right? Like, if you can make that much money in that short amount of time, that's completely fine. And you can buy the skips with it, and you can buy the tokens that you can buy stuff in the shop with. But on mobile, you can do it with direct money, moolah. And I mean, it's kind of the same, like it takes away a step from, buying bonds, right? And then spending it on these buffs. But holy moly, just be honest about it, right? Like, just say we will allow you to buy these direct skips to, go around buying bonds and then buying it. Because in a way, it's the exact same thing. But it's just direct money. And the screenshots that you see on screen are disgusting to see. And it really makes RuneScape look like a actual mobile game, which is very worrisome. And it's something that I'm just like, if you want to do this, that's fine. But be honest about it. Just be honest about it. Just tell us, look, we're a business. We're trying to make more money. These are the things. Don't just say, oh yeah, we're just going to do it with bonds or whatever. And then on mobile, sneakily do it with direct money. Yeah, no. Just don't. Just be like, you know what? You can directly buy it. Just make it full on MTX. Don't lie about it. Don't gaslight us. Just be honest about it. Because that is my thing. Look, I don't mind if you do all these things. Look, I prefer them not to do it, of course. But I get at the same time that the upper management wants to make as much money. They see this as an opportunity. Whatever. Do it so. But don't make it as intrusive as it is, with all these on-screen pop-ups, sound effects, fireworks, pop-ups in chat, whatever. And make it so that, if you do direct payments on mobile, be honest about it. Say it, put it right there, and just, own it. Because you're lying to us. And that is something that I feel like is such a regression from where they come from. Because quite frankly, they've been doing an incredible job with Necromancy and everything leading up to Necromancy. During the Fort era, everything was good. Pretty much since the Fort started up until Necromancy, they were doing a stellar job. And now they just pulled this, and I'm like, why? You took 2 steps forwards and 5 steps backwards. And it's just very sad to see. And especially from the point of view from the community team, who will have to handle this BS because, that's their job. Because obviously they don't make the decision of making this. And they just need to deal with this. And they will get a lot of toxicity and hate because of it. And, you know, a lot of hate on the project, for sure, which I do agree with, but obviously not on the individual, as I said at the start. And I'm like, why are you doing this? Is there no one at Jagex that is up there and says, you know what, actually, this might not be a good idea, or we might have to wait at least another 6 months to be able to pull this off? Because pretty much all the hype you built with Necromancy is now just gone. And you just completely destroyed it because people will see this over Necromancy. You pretty much casted a shadow over your own product by introducing this. I will still be finishing it because I just, you know, I will be playing the game anyway, so I guess I'll just be finishing it whilst playing it. But I really hope that they take the feedback that they're getting from the community and listening to it and changing this for the next one. I don't think this one will be changed because then you will even get like FOMO claims and whatever because, oh yeah, well, people were able to do 40 Zambi runs and now I can only do 10. Yeah, just don't bother with this one. Do it with the next one. But be honest about it. Be transparent about it and own it. If you want to introduce this, that's fine. If it's a new revenue thing for you to make money and keep our game alive, do so. Completely fine. But be honest. Don't lie to us. Don't try to gaslight us. And if you want to communicate, really do communicate. Show that with this project that you are open and willing to communicate about even these touchy subjects. Necromancy is all fun and games. Everyone loves it. And there's issues with it and people are communicating about it. And that's a nice space to do so because you're improving something amazing. However, you now have to improve something that is terrible. And I want to see if they can do it and if they can really, really own up to their claims of our communication is going to be better. Let the communication and the feedback and the influence of the player be better on a project like this as well. Because otherwise, you're just bullshitting us and yourselves by talking about these changes. But that's just my opinion. Let me know in the comment section down below what you think. Leave a like on the video if you agree and if you think daily challenges should come back. Subscribe if you're new. And my name's Chivalric, and I'll see you guys in my next video on Saturday. Much love, and goodbye.